Hi! In this part of the course, we will get to the actual core of the business, downloading and running Tesseract. The official documentation for Tesseract software can be found here. It is at times a little hard to understand if you are not steeped in the language. We will therefore provide a step-by-step guide here to downloading and running Tesseract from a Windows or Mac computer. For Linux, it works pretty much the same as for Mac, except for the install.
For Windows, you can download the latest installer from GitHub and run it to install Tesseract. In order to do that, go to the following link. This is a page run by the University of Mannheim, which provides installers for Tesseract on Windows. The links you should look for are in the section called Tesseract Installers for Windows. When you click on either, Tesseract will install on your computer. For most computers, both should work fine, and the 64-bit version might be a bit more fast and efficient. However, some older computers might only be able to run the 32-bit version.
On Mac, the easiest way to install Tesseract is with Homebrew. If you watched our last lesson, you will know all about Homebrew and have already installed it on your computer. If you have not watched it, Homebrew is a piece of software which makes installing other command line programs easy. We recommend you check out the last lesson. Alternatively, you should be easily able to find all the information on Homebrew on the internet. If you haven't installed Homebrew yet, install it by opening a terminal window and copy-pasting the command from the Homebrew website at brew.sh and press Enter. Homebrew will then install itself. Once it's installed, you can install Tesseract too by just typing brew install Tesseract in the terminal and pressing Enter. You can then watch Homebrew downloading and installing Tesseract. If it all goes well, you should find the phrase pouring Tesseract somewhere near the end.
Once Tesseract has been successfully installed on your computer, you should be able to run the command Tesseract in the command line. Type Tesseract into it now and press Enter. If it says command not recognized, Tesseract has not been properly installed. So long as it is properly installed, once you've typed it, you'll get a quick overview of how to use it and the different options. Here, you are also shown the basic idea of running a Tesseract command. You can ignore the options and config file bit for now. Image name refers to the name of the image file that you would like to run OCR on. This will typically be a scanned page in JPEG, PNG or TIFF format. Output base is the basic name without file extension that you would like to give the resulting text file, where the text from the image file is written to. Typically, people just take the same name as the image file, so you can easily associate and match the image and text files. So you would run a command like this: Tesseract myfile.png myfile, which will result in a text file called myfile.txt. You can also run tesseract-help-extra to see more advanced usage information. This will give you an impression of the layers of complexity available to toy with in Tesseract, but luckily most of this extra functionality is not necessary in most cases.
When Tesseract is installed, you can also run the following in your command line to see the languages you have installed. Tesseract-list-langs. This should give you the shortcodes for the trainings you have installed, typically an abbreviation for a language, like ENG for English. How do you add more languages? Well, each language model is stored in a single file with the language code in the name and .train data at the end. Tesseract will expect them to be in a directory called test data. If you are on Windows, the test data directory will be inside the directory you installed Tesseract in. If you're on Mac and installed Tesseract with Homebrew, it will be in the following directory. You can see the contents of this folder when you run ls or dir in your command line, like so. You'll probably find something like this. Any trained data file you put in this directory will be available for you straight away from Tesseract. The language names are usually a 3-letter code for the language, like ENG for English and FRA for French. These are usually standard codes called ISO 639 codes. So you can use a table such as the one on Wikipedia if you're having trouble figuring out which language you need.
You can obtain train data files from various places. The Tesseract project provides them for many modern languages. And if you're on Mac, you can just run brew install tesseract-lang to install all of these official models. You can also obtain specialist models from other places, such as some we have created for historic printed Latin and Greek at latinocr.org and ancientgreekocr.org. If you download a model, make sure you copy it to the test data directory. If you like, you can do that with the copy command. Once you've installed all the languages you need, you can get ready to run Tesseract for the first time to OCR an image. All you need for this is the path to the image, which is the name of the directory it's in, with the name of the image file, for example, myfolder/image.png, and the name of the language you want to process it in. The third thing you need is the name of the text file that you want Tesseract to save the output to. You can also set the directory this output file should be saved to. Once you have all these inputs, you can run the command like so. In this case, the text file will be saved in the same directory as the original image file. Once you run this command, you will see a text file created with the name you specified above.
Now usually, if you want to convert a whole book with image files, you would probably prefer not to run a single command for each page image. If you're on Mac or Linux, you can use the command line to process the pages in bulk. What you do exactly is enter a command that runs the same process on every single image in a directory. The easiest way to do this is like so. Navigate to the directory and then run the following. Pause the video so you can properly copy this, and be mindful when you copy what looks like apostrophes. These are actually backticks. This should make sure that all the image files in the directory you are currently in are being processed by Tesseract. The command line in regular Windows unfortunately does not have such an option available. There is the so-called PowerShell in Windows with that capacity, albeit this is beyond the scope of this course. Module 5, however, which introduces the rescribe tool, can OCR process pages in batches, so the solution is right there.
If you want to preserve attributes like italics, the position of words on the page, the estimated accuracy of words, or other such things, the best way is to use an output format called HOCR. This is basically HTML, the same technology web pages use, with a few extra tags to encode OCR-specific features. It's easy to get Tesseract to output in HOCR mode. You just add the word HOCR to the end of the Tesseract command. So a basic Tesseract command would be this. As HOCR is just an extension of HTML, you can open up the HOCR files generated by Tesseract in a web browser like Firefox or Chrome to see the OCR output.
Now you have your files OCR'd and ready. But what if the transcription is messy and not good enough, or you want the text in a single file? In the next lesson, we will go over various pre- and post-processing techniques which can dramatically improve OCR accuracy. See you there!